Right, come back to the lesson where we left in the previous class. Japan and Brazil by George Marx. George Marx telling us here that the voting system in Japan, the voting rules in Japan, and the voting rules are entirely different. What Japanese do, it is difficult for the outsiders to follow it because that voting system is depend on the age, depend on the standing position, depend on the rank, or depend upon the type of the type of social style of living. So that's why he says it is quite difficult to follow the voting rules. Right. So we discussed certain rules yesterday. We discussed some rules, and today we will see some more rules of Bowie. What does George Marx say? George Marx, in the third rule, three rules we discussed yesterday. Like one is Japanese have complicated hierarchy, and the one hierarchy is in family. The moment when they get up in the morning, wife should go husband, children go their parents, then younger brother to elder brother, and all the sisters of whatever age should go to their brothers. This is the rule in a family, and this is rule number one. This is rule number one in a family. Rule number two. We studied that in Japan, there are some bags called saddles. There are some carry bags called saddles. The way you carry your bags, your books to schools and colleges. The same saddles, children are being carried. In the saddles, children are being carried. So that when they are child, it means to the month of 8 or 9, whenever mother board, baby board too. Whenever mother board, baby board too. So that is the intention that since that age, they are training their children. So this is the second rule according to the author. He says that babies are trained in saddles. Babies are trained in saddles. This is rule number 2. Okay. And rule number 3. Rule number 3. Japanese stores, malls, theaters, cinema halls, Japanese theaters or Japanese stores employ mowing girls. Their job is to mow equally, sundry to each and everyone in the same manner. You can understand that even mowing also they are being paid. Even how to go, because how to go in Japan is depend on age, depend on social standing, depend on the ranking, depend on the position. Alright? So because of that, Japanese stores are employed mowing girls. Their job is to bow equally to everyone. This is one thing. So here, 3 rules we have discussed till today. Till now. Okay? So this means day 5, I think. This is day 5. We keep it day 5 and only we are talking about Japan. Even Brazil is there. We will see with the course of time. Brazil we will see later. Okay? So day 5. Now let's read the lesson and you can, if you be with me, you can understand the things. Rule number 4 now. Rule number 4. Rule number 4. Today we will see. Today is what date? So this is the date today. Okay. George Wines. George Wines. Right. So let's read the book. Right. Now the rule number 4, what does it say? Famous fast Tokaido line between Tokyo and Osaka, two conductors enter the carriage, a slightly theatrical scene. They march to the middle of the coach, bow ceremoniously in both directions, and then start checking the tickets. It means the bowing is not restricted to the family or to the children or to the store. If you go at train and bus, yes, or wherever you go, the bowing follows you. Now what does author say here? Two conductors, okay, they board the bus and they march half of the coach. It means half of the coach they march. They start marching. They greet from one another's end. From that end he, from this end he, from one another's end they greet. And they march half of the coach. From here he checks the ticket, from that side he checks the ticket. It means even at the bus, when the conductor boards the bus, he has to bow. So this is mandatory. It is believed that Japan is one of the strict countries in the world. Because in Japan, if the train is late for a second, the train, forget about a minute, train is late for a second or 2 seconds, yes, exactly 1 means 1 o'clock. Exactly 2 means 2 o'clock. It has to depart. If the bus or train doesn't depart in time, then they are penalized. Either the next day the company will have to give free service, 1 trip for the people during that time. So you can understand the difficulty, the strictness of the Japanese culture. So what I mean to tell you, such country, highly developed in the world, it took a lot of time for them. Because as you can see, discipline means discipline. They have to go, means they have to go. We are the Indians. We are meant for not, following the rules. We are meant for breaking the rules. And it's common in our country because we follow the rules. We break the rules. So that's why, here he says that there are 2 important places in Japan. One is Tokaido line, and that is Tokyo and Osaka. So these 2 important places in Japan, Tokyo and Osaka. These 2 important places in Japan, Tokyo and Osaka. 2 conductors entered the carriage. They entered the bus in a very theatrical manner. Yes, and then they start checking the ticket. This is one thing. Another thing, one of the parts of Nara. So this is one of the places in Japan called Nara. And here he met a deer. To whom he met? He met a deer. Now see here. I bought a bag of food for him. He came up to me, looked into my eyes, courteous bow, looked into my eyes, bowed deeply. It was no chance gesture. it was a proper and courteous bow. Perhaps deer are more imitative than I knew. Perhaps if they see people bowing all the time, they get into the habit too. Perhaps it is something genetic. It is the blood of Japanese deer. I do not know, but I do know that the deer bowed to me, then jumped at me and snatched a little food bag from my hand. It means there is one of the places called Nara. Author been to a place called Nara, and that place is famous for the deer. One of the deers saw author because author was having food packet in his hand, and the deer from the distance saw and looked at him, bowed deeply, and that bowing was just proper gesture like human being. Okay, then author moved towards that this one, the deer. So the deer snatched the food packet from him and ran away. Then author said it's in the gene, it's in that genetic. So that's why even the deer knows how to go properly. In this way, author talking about the Japanese bowing system. So it means the fourth rule you will keep the rail, and then the rule number 5 you will keep for deer bowing. Okay? Right. So in this way we have completed the 5 rules. Especially there are 4 rules, but author had added extra one deer, because if not human being, animals also know how to go. Right, my dear students. So we have completed the things. The next one we will see in the next class. Till then, take care and thank you.